Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, he slammed the CNN host right to their face, basically, and called on them to move forward from asking Trump about 2020. Meanwhile, they were criticizing him, saying that he's living in the past. Take a listen.
Town halls are for the voters, not for the press, not for the person who's the moderator. Caitlin spent more time interjecting her own viewpoints or her own views on the situation.
Excuse me, those are actually facts.
Now, are you guys not going to interject your views on me, or do I get a chance to speak now?
If you're speaking falsely, those were facts.
The town hall is for the president to speak to the voters of New Hampshire, not for this back and forth with media.
He is. I love it. I love it. Vince, what was your reaction? How did you think Trump did overall?
I thought Trump did pretty well. I mean, obviously, we knew he was headed into the lion's den. It was always going to be kind of a setup. And, it's funny. Anderson Cooper says that's not what a town hall is. Actually, that's exactly what a town hall is. There's a reason it's called a town hall, right? Because the voters of the town are supposed to come to the hall and ask the questions. It's not called CNN Hall. It's not called Caitlin Collins Hall. You're not supposed to just make it about themselves. But with all that said, I mean, did we learn a lot about kind of Trump's platform? Probably for about 20 minutes. Besides that, not really. But I did think, yes, that Trump, he took a victory in it, going into the lion's den, showing, he's older, but he could still debate. He's still sharp and, embarrassing the liberal press in the process. So I thought, Trump did a very good job.
Stephanie, what was incredible to me is the fact that so many of the CNN employees were so brazen to be so upset about the fact that CNN brought in the leading GOP candidate that's running for president to hear what he had to say. What's your reaction to the fact that the employees literally want to shut down half of America?
Yeah, the CNN hosts were so melty, very melty on television, reacting to the CNN town hall, as well as online and some of their other colleagues and friends in the media, which is truly despicable. These are people who are supposed to be reporting the news, informing the American people, the watchdogs of America, and then they want to silence a former president and the front runner of the GOP for president. I mean, it is just ludicrous that these people are calling themselves journalists, yet having meltdowns over free speech. The president, former President Donald Trump, has the right to speak. And also, it is their duty to let him deliver his platform to potential future primary voters and voters. We wanted to hear what he has to say. And those of the people who don't want to hear it, I mean, it's very unusual that you wouldn't want to hear from a president, whether you disagree with it or not. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of President Joe Biden, but I would love to see a town hall if he would be willing to agree to do one. I would love for him to go on Newsmax and take questions from potential voters. But unfortunately, it seems like the White House wants to keep him in the bunker there, and they don't want him to actually have to answer questions to the American people.
I can guarantee you that Newsmax would probably love to host a town hall with Joe Biden. We would welcome, of course, all candidates to come in that are running for president, the leading candidates. And so the fact that you have a major news organization saying that they didn't want the leading candidate for president on the Republican side not to come in is as outrageous. Vince, we're running out of time, but I also wanted to mention this to you. So also the left is trying to paint this as some sort of loss for CNN. They had over 3 million for that time slot. Normally, it's like a third of that. When Joe Biden, by the way, did his town hall, it was like 1.5 million to Trump's over 3 million. What do you think about this whole narrative of how the left tries to shape stories to fit their agenda? And it's frightening to me, though, because we're more informed, but a lot of Americans aren't. So they just see these headlines and they believe what they read and what they see.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a news media anymore in any regard. There's still some people still try to pretend that the media is fair and honest. It's not. It's basically all, political narratives and all to one side at this point. But what I will say on the ratings front is that good for CNN, that does go to show you that Donald Trump is still, even again in old age, the ratings machine, right? And I think the reason why a lot of liberal outlets you've seen ever since Trump left office have been struggling, Vice News going bankrupt, a lot of places are laying off, is because they structure their whole business model model around, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, because he is a ratings machine. And then now, they don't have their orange man to bash. They're actually quite struggling. And I think that's why you're seeing the liberal media struggle. But CNN, I think, made a business decision here. They said, well, we have this agenda, but we can't help it at the end of the day. Everyone wants to see Donald Trump. He is the magnet of attention. And so, the left can complain all they want, but I think CNN's looking at those numbers, looking at the ratings and saying we did a good job internally, maybe secretly, who knows?
Stephanie, we have a minute left. MSDNC's Joe Scarborough, I want you to take a listen to what he said about this, about Trump on Town Hall.
It was disgraceful on every level. The most shocking part was an audience who cheered on a president who tried to overturn American democracy. What I saw last night, at least, was as chilling as anything I've seen on television since January the 6th.
Oh, so chilling.
My God.
So chilling that there's Republicans out there who support President Donald Trump. It is ridiculous. I don't know if you saw the Anderson Cooper actual meltdown as well, where he's like, you may have not liked it, but these are your neighbors and your friends, and you can do something about it. You can get out there and change things. It's like, come on. And you know what? CNN did a disservice with this town hall because they made it super combative. They had Caitlin Collins, who, by the way, is a former Daily Caller employee, which is where I used to work. And they tried to make her seem like she's some sort of right winger when clearly she was very vicious to President Trump and was asking questions that the American people don't care about. We don't want to hear about E. Jean Carroll. We don't want to revisit J6. We don't want to revisit all of these things that she was covering. Like, people are really worried about the cost of living, gas prices, the economy, foreign policy, and they're just revisiting and rehashing all these things that were totally over. And then after, the other reaction to this was they had some sort of a focus group reacting to the CNN town hall, and the moderator of that was like, "Oh, do you think do you think Trump focused too much on J6?" And they're like, "Well, you guys were the ones asking the questions, so yes."
Right. Exactly. I know. It is so ridiculous. I also love the cheering at the end. That really upset them. Well, thank you so much.
Hey guys, Vince Dow here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dow Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dow Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.